Funny, huh? The world moves on, the clocks tick, and people pretend like nothing happened, like the ones who broke you just vanished into thin air, like your pain didn't leave a crater where your soul used to be. You ever just sit in a dark room and feel like the darkness is the only thing that truly understands you? No fake smiles, no false hope, just raw, bitter silence. That's the thing about being broken once. It leaves a scar, not a wound. Wounds heal, kid. Scars, they whisper forever. And tonight I'm here to remind you of something very simple. They broke you once, but never again. You see, people have this filthy habit of underestimating silence. They think if you ain't screaming, if you ain't fighting back, if you ain't bleeding out loud, then you're weak. But silence is dangerous. It's where monsters are born, forged and sharpened. That's where you live now, right? That quiet corner of the world where no one sees what you're holding inside. They call it peace. I call it survival. Because when the storm ripped you open, they all watched, didn't they? Some even smiled. And you still believed in them. You still held on. Naive, but beautiful. I respect that. It takes guts to still care after they crush you. But let me tell you a little secret, sweetheart. Caring doesn't keep you alive. Cold does. No mission. They didn't just hurt you. Oh no. They dissected your trust with a grin. They picked apart your kindness like it was weakness. And you stood there, shaking but standing, crying but quiet. You thought they'd come back and fix what they broke, but no one comes back to clean the mess they made in someone else's soul. They move on. Light-hearted, like you were just a side quest in their little game. And you carry the rubble, the echoes, the memories you can't unsee. You ever tried to sleep with a memory screaming in your head like a siren? It's a nightmare that never ends, kid. But here's the twist. You survive. You know, most people crumble once, and that's it. Game over. They break and stay broken. But not you. You're still here. Breathing, bleeding maybe, but still standing. And that makes you terrifying. See, you're no longer the person who got hurt. You're the one who learned from pain, and pain's a damn good teacher. It doesn't lie. It doesn't fake. It shows you the truth you refused to see. You trusted the wrong ones. You gave chances like candy, and they chewed through your loyalty like it was disposable. But here's the truth. It's not your fault you cared. It's their curse that they didn't. You know what's poetic? They thought breaking you would make you quiet, but it made you smarter, colder, stronger. They thought you'd chase, that you'd beg, that you'd stay small. But now you are the storm. You ain't the same soft soul who waited for apologies that never came. You are the silence that terrifies them. You're the proof that people can burn and rise from their own ashes without begging for water. Don't you dare forget who you've become. Don't you ever let them trick you into thinking your softness was stupidity. No. It was proof that even angels can walk through hell and not lose their wings. They broke you once. So what? Everyone breaks. But you rebuilt with stone. You rebuilt with fire in your ribs and steel in your eyes. You don't need revenge. You are the revenge, because nothing hurts them more than seeing you walk past them like they never mattered. That's power. Real power. Not noise. Not shouting. Just detachment. You don't care anymore. And that's your shield. When they can no longer affect your mood, your peace, your silence, they lose. And deep down, they know it. Keep walking, kid. And keep that silence sharp. Because now they watch from afar, wondering how you're still breathing when they buried you with their betrayal. They don't understand that pain is a builder. You didn't heal, you transformed. And that's what makes you unbreakable now. They broke you once, never again. I remember the night like it was yesterday. The sky didn't look right. You ever look up and feel like even the stars are turning their backs on you? Like everything that's supposed to be constant just disappears. I was sitting there, not talking, not thinking, just feeling. And you know what I felt? Nothing. Not the cold on my skin, not the ache in my chest, not even the damn weight of everything I gave up for people who vanished the moment I fell. Oh, they love you when you're high, kid. But when you crash, when your hands tremble and your heart begs for one reason to stay, that's when the crowd gets quiet. That's when the masks fall off. That's when you see what's real and who's not. Let me tell you something real dark, real raw. You were broken once. I saw it. And it wasn't some dramatic fall with music and screaming. It was quiet. That silent kind of breaking, the kind where you still smile in public, still laugh at the right jokes, but inside, you're dead. They shattered you in silence, and the worst part, you let them. You give them love, loyalty, honesty, all those heavy things, and they carried it like it was disposable. You handed over gold and they sold it for scraps. Now you're here, angry, lost, confused, and telling yourself you're fine, but you ain't. And that's okay, 'cause broken ain't the end, it's the start. You think I became this because life handed me flowers and promises? Nah. I got handed fire and silence. I learned to love the sound of doors closing and people disappearing. I stopped expecting apologies. I stopped explaining my worth. I started watching, studying. 'Cause when they break you once, they expect you to stay there, on your knees, begging for their presence like a starving dog. But let me ask you this. Why beg someone to stay when they had no shame walking away? Why keep giving when all they do is take? You want to know what real strength is? It's not smiling when you're hurting. It's not pretending everything's fine. Real strength is choosing not to go back. They'll come back, eventually. Oh, they always do. When you start moving in silence, building in darkness, when the glow up ain't flashy but dangerous, they'll hear about you. Whispers in the hallways, rumors in the streets. You remember him? Did you see her now? And they'll watch from a distance, jealous, regretful. And you, don't you dare turn around. You owe them nothing, not even your attention. They broke you once, never again. That's the rule now. That's your law. Let me break this down for you logically, yeah? Let's say pain is a currency. You gave yours away for free. Every tear, every sleepless night, every unanswered message, that's value, kid. And they wasted it. So now, you charge for it. You guard it. Your energy, priceless. Your time, selective. Your love, earned, not handed out like a flyer in the wind. People treat you how you let them. You teach them how to walk over you when you stay quiet after disrespect. You taught them you'd forgive anything. You taught them you'd always be there, so they stopped trying. You stopped existing in their mind as a person. You became a resource, a pit stop, a therapist, a punching bag. But not anymore. That chapter, it's gone. Burn it. Write the new one in fire and silence. Be the one who says less and builds more. They call you heartless, so what? They said you changed, good. They miss the old you, of course they do. He was easy to use. That old version of you, he bled for people who wouldn't even spit water if you were burning. That version of you died in silence. Now this version, this one doesn't beg, doesn't explain, doesn't need a crowd. He becomes the storm. I know it hurts. I know some nights the silence is so loud it feels like it's screaming at you. You replay every word, every lie, every fake promise, and you want closure, but closure ain't real. You close it yourself. You bury what hurt you, not with hate, but with indifference. They don't deserve a piece of your mind. They don't get to know what it did to you. That's your power now. They don't know you anymore. You outgrew them. You evolved in the fire they left you to burn in. You built armor from ashes. And here's the irony. People fear what they can't predict. You were predictable. You'd always be there, always care, always answer, always forgive. But now, you're gone. And they hate that. They hate the silence, the unbothered version of you. The man who doesn't flinch, doesn't explain, doesn't care what they think. That version's a ghost in their guilt. They remember you, and it hurts. Let it. They earned that pain. Shh. But you move. You grow. Quietly. Ruthlessly. With every move calculated. Every word measured. You don't react. You observe. And when it's time, you rise. Not to show off, but to remind them they broke you once. Never again. I watch you fall, you know. Not from the top, but from somewhere deeper, somewhere darker. You didn't scream, you didn't beg, you didn't even flinch. Just silence. Like the soul had already accepted the funeral before the body ever hit the floor. Funny how the world works, right? They pat you on the back while they shove the knife deeper. They call it love, but it feels like slow poison. They broke you once, but never again. Not if you finally decide to stop handing out pieces of yourself like free samples to people who only want a taste of your weakness. See, the thing about pain is, it doesn't always knock on the door. It kicks it in and takes a seat at your dinner table, like it owns the place. And you keep feeding it. You dress it up as loyalty, as kindness, as understanding. But listen to me real close now. None of those things mean a damn thing to people who already made up their mind about using you. You gave them warmth, and they turned it into firewood to keep themselves cozy while you froze. You gave them a second chance, and they turned it into a second weapon. You were too soft in a world that survives on teeth and silence. You know what your biggest mistake was? Not loving, not trusting. No, it was believing that your loyalty would make them see your worth. That if you bled enough for them, they'd stop stabbing. What a joke. You were never the problem. Their hunger was, their emptiness, their little games of validation. They needed someone to destroy to feel powerful, and you walked in with an open heart and no armor. But it's over now. That version of you, the one who kept saying it's okay with blood dripping from your chest, is dead, and thank God. Let me tell you something cold, something real. They didn't break you because you were weak. They broke you because you were too strong, too bright, too pure for their filthy hands to handle. They needed to drag you down to their level just to feel like they weren't drowning alone. You became a mirror to their guilt. And you mistook it for love. But the truth? Real love doesn't drain. It builds. Real respect doesn't need explanations or reminders. And if you have to beg for it, then you're in the wrong room, sweetheart. Normal. Ayla, you ever notice how quiet it got when you disappeared? How all that noise, all those demands, all that drama suddenly vanished the moment you stepped back? That's not coincidence. That's exposure. You were the light, and once it left, they all sat in the dark, trying to figure out why nothing feels right anymore. Because you were the soul of it all, the heart, the one who carried them while they kept cutting your legs off. And now you're done. And that silence, it's loud for them now, isn't it? Don't you dare go back. Don't you dare try to fix what you didn't break. Don't play savior to the ones who loved you only when it was convenient. This world, this rotten, selfish, two-faced world only respects the ones who stop explaining themselves and start disappearing quietly. It fears the ones who rise from ashes without a word because it knows those are the ones who won't burn again. You hear that? That ticking? That's not a bomb. That's your time, your silence, your revenge. And it doesn't need to explode. It just needs to keep walking. Keep building, keep proving. You owe them nothing, not even a damn goodbye. Because you're not broken anymore. You're rebuilt. And rebuilt people, oh, they don't shake, they don't ask, they don't beg. They walk, quiet, focused, unreachable. And that's what kills them more than anything. They can't reach you anymore. They can't affect what no longer reacts. So stay cold, stay distant, stay powerful. Let them feel the weight of your absence. Let them lie in the bed they made, suffocating on the silence they forced you into. Because the new you, the one who rose, he doesn't bleed for unworthy people anymore. He doesn't kneel. He watches. Calculation. And when the time comes, he doesn't speak. He just wins. And they'll see it. Oh, they'll see it. Not through words, not through tears, but through the empire you build in the dark, brick by damn brick, without a single apology. I remember the silence. Not the peaceful kind, the one that creeps into your bones and wraps itself around your soul like a snake. The kind that follows after betrayal, after the last door slams, after the last "I'm here for you" turns into echoes behind your back. Funny, isn't it? You give your all and they take it like it was owed. You open up your chest, hand over your beating heart, and they crush it like it was some cheap toy from a vending machine. And you're still standing there, bleeding, watching, waiting. For what? An apology, a return, a miracle? Let me break that dream for you. Miracles don't come for people like us. You want truth? Here's one. They broke you once, never again. You see, the thing about pain, real pain, it leaves marks. Not the kind anyone else sees. Nah, these are the deep ones, the invisible scars, the permanent ones, the kind that change your walk, change your laugh, change the way you look at people. And they don't fade, kid. They grow roots. Every time you trusted someone who didn't deserve it, every time you forgave what should have been punished, every time you stayed when you should have walked, those scars, they multiplied. You became a museum of your own kindness, filled with exhibits of people who never deserved a place in your heart to begin with. They studied you, not to love you, but to find the cracks. And when they found them, they dug deeper. Let me teach you something they won't tell you in fairy tales. Not everyone who touches your wounds wants to heal them. Some just want to see if you'll bleed again. Pathetic, right? But real. That's the world you live in. A world where your softness is seen as weakness, where your loyalty is currency for cowards, where your silence is mistaken for submission. But not anymore. Not this time. You hear me? You don't crawl back to the fire that burned you. You become the fire. You become the lesson they never thought they'd learn. Because let me tell you what happens when a broken man stops asking for help. He becomes dangerous. Not because he seeks revenge, but because he learns not to depend. He walks different, talks different, eyes like steel, heart like stone. And not out of hate, but out of survival. Because love without boundaries is suicide, and trust without caution is a loaded gun pointed at your own chest. You've been there. I know you have. I can see it in your eyes. The way they flicker when someone mentions forever. That word. It's become a joke, hasn't it? People say it like it means something, but you learned that forever is just a delay before a band. You see, they thought you'd never leave. They fed off that. They drank from your soul like it was some endless river. And when you started to dry up, when your light started to dim, they didn't ask if you were okay. They walked, just like that. No guilt, no shame, just footprints leading away from the wreckage they left, and you still stood there, ashes in your hands, a smile on your face, pretending the fire didn't touch you. But I saw you. I see you. And I know what you've become. You've become the one they fear now, not because you're cruel, but because you've stopped needing their approval. That's the shift. That's the power. When the man who was once desperate to be understood finally understands himself, he becomes unstoppable. He walks into rooms and doesn't beg to be seen. He lets his silence do the talking. He lets his absence teach the lesson. He doesn't chase, he disappears. And when they notice he's gone, it's already too late. But don't confuse this with bitterness. No. This is clarity. This is rebirth. You didn't die back there, you transformed. They didn't destroy you. They built the monster they now whisper about in regret. And you owe them nothing. Not even your story. Because people who made you question your worth don't deserve a front row seat to your glow up. Let them sit in the cheap seats and wonder how they lost you. Let them choke on silence. So go ahead. Burn the old script. Tear down the version of you that bent over backwards. Just to keep people who never even learned how to stand beside you. Rewrite everything. Not for revenge, but for evolution. You don't rise to show them. They're not worth the stage. You rise for you. For the kid in you that cried behind closed doors. For the version of you that waited for a text that never came. For the man who kept forgiving, hoping, staying, when he should have let go. They broke you once. Never again. Never. I remember the night they broke you. You were sitting there, quiet, shattered, not even blinking. Like the weight of the whole damn world decided to sit right on your chest and laugh. And oh, they laughed, didn't they? They laughed like you were the punchline to a joke they didn't even write. The kind of laughter that cuts deeper than any knife. The kind of laughter that stays echoing in your skull when the room's already gone silent. But you didn't scream. You didn't beg. You just sat there, swallowed it, took it all. And you know what? That silence, that stillness, that was louder than anything you could have said. Because broken men who stay silent, They're the ones people should fear the most. You see, most people, they get a taste of betrayal and they collapse. They get lied to, used, tossed like trash, and they melt, but you didn't. You cracked, yeah, but you didn't shatter. You bled inside, quietly. That kind of pain, the one that doesn't make noise, it builds something else, something darker, something sharp. Because when someone breaks you, really breaks you the first time, it ain't just pain, it's education. Brutal education. You start learning faces, you start learning tones, you start recognizing manipulation in a smile and lies in an embrace. Pain's the finest damn teacher this ugly world ever made. They thought you'd stay broken, didn't they? That's the joke. That's the irony. They thought the version of you that loved them, trusted them, gave without expecting was permanent. Like you'd never flip the script. Like you'd never grow teeth, but look at you now. Breathing, existing, watching, planning. Not for revenge, no, that's too easy. Too predictable. You're not looking to destroy them. You're learning to destroy the version of yourself that allowed them to break you in the first place. That's where the power is. Not in yelling, not in violence, nah. It's in the coldness you build after the fall. It's in walking past them like they never mattered, like their betrayal was a favor, like their absence improved the air around you. You start showing up without explaining. You start winning without announcing. That's what really crushes them. Silence is lethal. And when they realize you ain't reacting anymore, that's when they panic. That's when they realize the game's over and they lost the only real one who ever gave a damn. But don't you forget, they didn't break you because you were weak. No, they broke you because you were strong. Strong enough to carry what they couldn't. Strong enough to see the good in people that didn't even see it in themselves. Strong enough to love fully in a world that treats love like a liability. They broke you because they saw light in you that made them feel like shadows. And they couldn't handle it. So they tried to dim it. And when that didn't work, they tried to destroy it. But you survived. And here's the catch. They're not coming back for you. No, they're coming back for access. Access to the version of you they didn't appreciate. Access to the benefits without the responsibility. They'll wrap it in apologies and tears and I miss yous, but you'll see through it. Because pain rewired your instincts. You don't hear words anymore, you hear patterns. And that, my friend, is your armor now. That's your protection. Not walls, not bitterness, just wisdom. Wisdom soaked in scars. So now, you walk differently. You think sharper. You speak less. You observe more. And every time they try to provoke you into being the old version of yourself, the one they could manipulate, you smile. Not because it's funny, but because you know they'll never meet that version again. He died the day they broke you. And what rose from the ashes? is no longer breakable. The funny part, the part no one tells you, is that the moment they think they've destroyed you is the same moment they unknowingly freed you. Freed you from illusion, from fantasy, from the prison of hope. Now you see people clearly. No more romanticizing broken promises, no more making excuses for red flags. You see the truth. And once you see it, you never unsee it. That's the curse and the blessing. They broke you once. Never again.